Ravens flock. The flock rundown is the place to be. My man Ryan has been a lifelong Ravens fan since he was born. So I'm telling you now, it's about to go down. The podcast, the flock rundown. Ravens, baby. Nothing gets better than waking up and wondering how high we can fly. Tune in.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.
Appreciate you, Ray. What's up, Ravens fans? My name is Ryan, and welcome back to another episode of the Flock Rundown. Big game this week. Ravens versus Dolphins. This is the game preview episode. We'll do another $50 giveaway. If you haven't been a part of this before or new to the channel, I'm going to ask a question somewhere in this video. Random question, usually a yardage number from a player or something. Just watch the video, like the video, please, subscribe to the channel, and then just comment your answer. It's as simple as that. Closest answer wins $50 right after the game. And let's dive into this magical, insane game that we're about to witness on Sunday at 1 o'clock, which is a weird time. They didn't flex it. One of my buddies said that they didn't flex it to the night game because it's New Year's Eve and nobody would watch it. So that's why they left like a subpar game. I think it's Packers-Vikings or something like that. So maybe that's why, but it at least deserves to be in like the top 3 for the 4 o'clock slot then, right? I mean, I don't know, whatever. It's drowned out in the 1 o'clock games, but I feel like most of the country is going to be watching Dolphins-Ravens. If the Ravens win, they get the number 1 seed. They win the AFC North. Everything's clinched. Next week against the Steelers, we could rest some guys. Then we'll have a bye week, and then the entire playoffs runs through Baltimore. If the Dolphins win, they would take over the number 1 seed. The Ravens would move back to 2. Now, the Dolphins play the Bills in Week 18, so if they lose that and the Ravens beat the Steelers, the Ravens would get it back. But we don't want to be in that position, right? Like, I'd rather just win this game against the Dolphins, which is not going to be easy, but win this game against the Dolphins, and it's all clinched, and we can rest some guys, more importantly, because this injury report is looking lengthy for both teams, not just the Ravens. The Dolphins already ruled out Jalen Waddle, so that's huge. And then they got Armstead on the injury report. Tyreek Hill, he's going to play. Holland's questionable. Xavier Howard's questionable, and they're putting in limited practice sessions, so that definitely, I would say, are truly questionable. Mostert's questionable. I think Mostert will play. Achane's definitely going to play anyway, so regardless, they're going to have some speed at running back. Tua's going to play, and then Waddle's already out. Jalen Ramsey was just added to the injury report on Friday, so we'll see, but I would expect him to play. I would kind of expect all of them to play, but the Ravens injury report is not much better. I mean, Jalen Armour-Davis already out. Zay Flowers, I would say, is truly questionable. He puts in a DNP, and then a limited. I think he's going to play, but I would say he's truly questionable. Kyle Hamilton, again, 50-50, man. Like, there's definitely a chance that he doesn't play. You know, he goes from DNP to limited to DNP. So I think they're just trying to get him that rest. They're not probably practicing too hard right now. I mean, everybody's kind of banged up and dealing with something. But Kyle Hamilton's a little bit more serious. You know, he hurt the knee pretty bad 2 weeks ago, battled through practice, ended up back out there against the Niners, and then re-injured it. And it looked serious when it happened. So the fact that he's even practicing and might be able to go is a great sign for long term. But I think it's truly up in the air for this game. And that would be a huge missing piece. And then the other one that I think is truly up in the air too is Brandon Stephens. Brandon Stephens did not practice at all the last 2 days. And it's for an ankle. He practiced Wednesday during the walkthrough, and then ankle injury, did not practice Thursday and Friday. So he's truly up in the air as well. So we have key guys in the secondary that might not be there. And obviously Jalen Waddle's out for the Dolphins. So it's going to be kind of who can fight through this, because neither team's going to be fully loaded unless Stephens and Hamilton play. But I know if they do play, they're not playing at 100%. If anyone's playing at 100% right now. But I think Kyle's truly banged up. But man, we kind of need him in a game like this because he's so versatile. Not only is he bringing pressure, but I feel like he can blow that screen game up. And they're going to run screens. They run a ton of motion. They chuck it to Tyreek Hill quick, got some blockers. But I feel like like Kyle Hamilton is the perfect counter to that. He blows that stuff up. He's long, he's lengthy, even though Tyreek's quicker for sure. I feel like Kyle's arms are going to be able to do some damage in that screen game. He makes a move, he can still get there, at least to slow him down so that everyone else who's running to the ball can finish the play. Arthur Mullett should be back, so I'm sure we're going to see more of him, especially if Kyle Hamilton doesn't go. We're probably going to see a lot of Arthur Mullett. Rocky Ya-Sin's available. If Brandon Stevens doesn't go, I feel like we could lift him up. But it's concerning that Rocky Ya-Sin is barely active. He's not dealing with an injury as far as I know. I mean, he's not. They'd put him on the injury report, but they just never even activate him for game days half the time. So that's a big sign that was kind of a not great signing this year. But we might see Rocky Ya-Sin. We might see Ronald Darby, Arthur Mullett. That might be the guys that are supporting the Marlon Humphrey and then the safeties with Geno Stone and Marcus Williams, who are going to traditionally play a lot more deep. Dolphins obviously pose a ton of challenges, especially with Tyreek Hill. Tua gets the ball out of his hands fast. Got Wilson at wide receiver 2, who's kind of stepped up for a Waddle here and there. Mostert and Chain in the backfield. Their speed is tough to deal with. They can get to the edge. I'm definitely worried about the run game a little bit. Teams have had success almost on a weekly basis being able to run the ball on this Ravens defense. So if the Dolphins are smart, in my opinion, they would continue to run throughout the game and establish a run game consistently. Every offense has a lot more success when they're versatile and they're able to run and then throw off of the run fake. That's the best way to play football, in my opinion. So hoping the Dolphins get away from that and definitely air it out and, let it be an air raid, because I feel like we'll be able to slow that down, keep everything in front of us. Tyreek's going to make his plays. He's going to make some guys miss. He's going to have a crazy run. He'll probably get loose for a touchdown. I am not going to be surprised if any of that happens, but I feel like throughout the duration of the game, we're not going to let up 30-plus points or, just kind of fall apart defensively. I feel like we're going to be able to contain that offense. I think at home, our defense is going to be fired up and is going to hit them in the mouth like PQ said. So let's see how they respond.
Yeah! 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 Finish him! Finish him!
And that's another big question I'm hearing a lot this week is the Dolphins are finesse and the Ravens are physical, and who's going to win that matchup. I think the Dolphins are physical too, though. I don't think they're as physical as the Ravens. I don't think any team in the league is playing as physical as the Ravens and kind of carrying that mentality in the game like, we're going to hurt you, man, legally. So I don't think many teams are coming in like that, but the Dolphins do play physical. They're not a soft team, in my opinion, but they are more finesse than Baltimore, and Baltimore's more physical than the Dolphins. So I understand the narrative, and it will be interesting. Is speed and finesse going to be able to have some success against a really physical defense who's kind of going to be on you all game? Every pass you're not going to have a lot of space. They're on you. So how do you respond? Flipping to the Ravens offense against Miami defense. Miami's defense has been balling. They're top 5 in a lot of categories. I think they're number 1 in the last month or so. They've been playing great. They obviously have Jalen Ramsey, and if Holland's great, if he plays. Their secondary's strong, but so is their rush. I feel like they do a really good job getting to the quarterback, putting pressure on the quarterback. Now we just went against, Nick Bosa and Chase Young, and they couldn't touch Lamar. So I'm not extremely worried about a pass rush. Hopefully our line shows up. I think they will. I think they're going to be locked in and ready to play and motivated to play. And they did an incredible job last week against San Francisco. So I don't see our line just collapsing. I feel like if anything, they're going to get a little bit stronger. But what Lamar's doing in the pocket, getting out of the pocket, making those decisions of when to kind of stay in, when to bounce left, right, duck under, spin around, go outside, always eyes still downfield to make a play. I've never seen anyone do it so well in my life. And then his mind is catching up to his athleticism right now. And he's making incredible decisions and running this Todd Monken-led offense. And it obviously helps that we have weapons now. So I just think that our offense is going to be able to continue to move the ball in this game. I don't think that any pass rush is going to be able to stop it. If anything stops it, it's ourselves. Now, it doesn't mean we're not going to have some struggles. I feel like we've been kind of starting games a little slower. It almost takes us a little bit on both sides of the ball, really. It takes us like a quarter or so to kind of see what the other team's doing and adjust, And our offense has been a little flat coming out of games, which is kind of the opposite as it was earlier in the year. But I think we'll be able to score enough points just with the way Lamar's playing, the way we can always run the ball consistently, our weapons now. I mean, Zay Flowers is just out of this world. Odell, I know, is going to step up in a game like this.
Tony Montana.
Bateman's been stepping up. Isaiah Likely's just been above expectations. He's filled in for Mark Andrews perfectly. And if we make a deep run, Mark still might come back. So that'll be sick. But Likely's just been balling. And that leads me to the giveaway question this week. How many total receiving yards will Isaiah Likely have? How many receiving yards will Isaiah Likely have on Sunday's game? Drop your answer below. Closest answer will win $50 after the game. Best of luck, guys. So I'll get into my score predictions. I got the Ravens winning this one 31-20. I think the Ravens kind of get, I think it's close for a while, but I think the Ravens get like a 2-possession lead and kind of start rolling on them. I just feel like we win this matchup in my mind. Now, if Kyle Hamilton and Brandon Stevens are out, especially Kyle Hamilton, I would probably adjust that score slightly. I think it would be much closer. I'm going to say like a 28-24, just something a lot closer, or a 30-27. I still think the Ravens win, but I think it gets closer if Kyle Hamilton's not there. I think we'll get a bit more exposed defensively. But I do like the Ravens in this one. My confidence is a little bit higher after last week, so if I add a few points for that, this team showed up. This team showed up in a big way, in a big moment, and we got another big moment this week, so I can't expect them not to show up. I feel like we're going to show up and show out, put on a show at M&T. It's one more game. We get through this game. It's smooth sailing until the divisional round. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments, score predictions. Hopefully you heard the giveaway question. What do you think about this game? What do you think about the matchups? And as always, guys, I appreciate you tuning in to another episode of the Flock Rundown. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you guys next time.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.